So let's talk about masculine and feminine energy, and specifically the feminine traits that high value men just love. It just like magnets, pulls them in to this relationship. Now, you probably understand about feminine energy. You understand that feminine energy and masculine energy are polar energies, meaning they attract one another. And you also know that these aren't gender specific. So it's not like women only have feminine energy or men only have masculine energy, but you and me as human beings, we're dynamic. We can contain both masculine and feminine energy. And you and I also have sort of a home base, an energy that we live in more than others. And often on my coaching calls in the Manifest Your Man program, I attract a lot of successful women, smart women who are great women, and yet they're disappointed in who they're attracting. Because they want to attract a masculine man. They want to attract a healthy masculine man, not a toxic masculinity or anything like that, but a man who's willing to lead, a man who's willing to show up because they want to be in their feminine energy, and yet they know that they're sourced or really have a habit of coming from their masculine energy. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 feminine traits that are easy to notice and activate and dial up if you want to call in a different type of partner in your life. If you really want to, or maybe you have a partner in your life and you want to activate more masculine energy in him, as you step into your feminine energy more and you activate these 3 traits, it's going to naturally draw your man into his masculine energy because these energies are dynamic. Let me give you a quick example of this. One of my clients, her name is Sharon, and she's an attorney. And when we first started working together, she described how she felt stuck in her masculine energy. Being an attorney, she was always making decisions. She was always creating the plan. She was leading the way. It was very kind of masculine dominated space. And she found herself having a really tough time shifting that energy when she would go on dates. And so even if she was with a guy who was sort of balanced in his energy because she was so masculine, he would just lean right into his feminine energy, and she wasn't attracted to that. And so she would go on all these great dates with great guys, but there would be no attraction because she didn't want a man who was really coming from his feminine energy. So Sharon shifted and her results changed. Sharon met a guy named Mark. Sharon learned how to be in her feminine energy. It helped Mark live into his masculine energy even more. And the attraction between the two was like off the charts, amazing. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a video that Sharon sent me of Mark proposing to her. And this is the moment that she had been dreaming of, the moment that she had been wanting in her life. She had been married previously before. It was not a great marriage. She wanted to call in the love of her life. And so here she is at this stage in her life, actually having manifested that. And this is the moment. And I asked her for permission to share it with you, and she said yes. So let me share with you the 3 simple concepts or practices that can help you amplify your feminine energy that Sharon used. The first one is to understand that the feminine is sourced in the heart, where the masculine is sourced in the mind. Now, there's no right or wrong. You and I both have masculine and feminine energy, but just notice, where do you tend to ride around throughout most of your day? Are you up here? Are you an intellectual? Are you strategizing? Are you visioning? Are you problem solving? Or are you sourced and anchored in your heart throughout your day? Now, different people are different. I tend to be kind of riding around up in my mind all day long because of the nature of the work that I do. But if you want to be more balanced, or even if you want to amplify your feminine energy, one of the easy ways to do that is to just move your awareness from your mind down into the center of your heart. And right now, I invite you to do that with me. Bring your awareness right now and just put some awareness on the center of your heart. And if you're actually focused on this in this moment, you will start to feel the energy field in your heart begin to expand. You can actually feel this sense of aliveness and the swelling or surging of energy in your heart space. And that begins to open your heart to the beauty that exists in the world, to the presence of love that is all around us. And that will help amplify your feminine energy. One of the things that masculine loves is the effect that the feminine has. For example, you're with a masculine guy, he's riding around in his mind most of the time feeling a bit disconnected from his heart and how that feels. And so when he's with a woman who can be so anchored in her feminine energy, so connected to her heart that she draws him into his heart in moments, it feels so good. It begins to balance his energy out. So while the first idea is to notice, are you riding around in your mind more, or are you sourced in your heart, knowing that you can move back and forth, but one's going to be more masculine, one's more feminine. The second is the feminine energy is sourced in the present moment, while the masculine energy is future moments. And so it correlates to the heart and the mind, because masculine energy being future moments, the mind wants to strategize, it wants to set goals, it wants to plan the future, it wants to move into those moments. When you're doing that, even if it's planning vacations, when you step in and you plan the date, it puts you in the masculine sense because you're leading in that moment. You're planning, you're visioning the way, and that's okay. But you want to know what energy you're coming from, where the feminine energy is about enjoying the moment. It's about being present, being here now, and fully soaking in and experiencing this moment to the fullest. And you and I want a balance of actually both masculine and feminine energy to have a full life. How many people do you know that are just so anchored in their masculine, they're all about getting the goal, growing the business, getting that $1 million mark, or that 10 or 20 or $50 million mark, publishing the book, achieving this, getting this number of followers, and they're just about going after the goal. And what happens the moment they get the goal, then what? They're on to the next goal. And then the next goal, like it's never enough. They're never satiated. They're never satisfied having achieved that goal. And they never give themselves the ability to fully enjoy it and to celebrate. If they do, it's like 5 minutes. Like, hey, amazing job on that accomplishment. They're like, yeah, okay, what's next? And it's not that one's bad and one's good. No, both are required for being a fully activated human in this planet. You want to be growing. You want to be pursuing something that brings you aliveness. It's in the growth where happiness occurs. But part of that growth is in recognizing and celebrating the moment that you're in. And this is what is phenomenal about feminine energy, is the feminine energy hits the pause button. The feminine energy grabs the masculine and says, look around. Look at that sunset. And you'll wrap your arms around him and you say, let's soak in this sunset. And he's like, where are we going to park? And where are we going? And so you pause him. And he takes a moment and he takes a deep breath in and he has gratitude for this moment and he just soaks it in. And it feels so life-giving and it feels so good to him. And he's like, wow. And then the value that feminine presence is in for a masculine that drives, that plans, that strategizes, that's always on the go. It's so much value. You watch people when they eat. Are they just about getting the meal done? Like they're trying to finish it? Or are they going to stop and enjoy and soak it in and like, wow, we're in the dream right now. You and I are above ground this day. You and I have been gifted this beautiful day of life. We are here like we're living this dream together. You're on a growth path today. That is beautiful. That is amazing. And the more we can stop, access this present moment right here and right now and soak that in, the more you are amplifying that beautiful, radiant, amazing feminine energy, and the more your masculine man is going to value and just appreciate that moment that you've helped him enjoy. And the third feminine quality that's really easy to understand and practical to apply is feminine energy is inviting energy, while masculine energy is pursuing. The feminine energy will draw unto itself, where the masculine chases, pursues, and tries to get what it is that it desires. There's a false myth out there that feminine energy is passive, inactive, or weak, or submissive, or any of that. No, those are myths. That's not at all what feminine energy is. Feminine energy is incredibly powerful and can be incredibly proactive. You think about if you want to talk to somebody, and you're either going to pursue or you're going to pull, one of those two ways of having someone come up to you, you can call someone over to you with a look or with a smile or by waving them over to you. But it's whether you're pulling or pushing this masculine or feminine, you can be massively proactive in your feminine energy. And so one of the things that the masculine loves is when the feminine, one of the ways it invites is by stating a want or a desire or a standard. It's an invitation. You're texting a guy, and the difference is you saying, hey, we should go out on Friday night. We should go out this weekend. Why don't we go out to this place? I know of a great place, right? That's more pushing energy versus pulling. It's the same action, but masculine, versus you saying, hey, if you asked me out for a date on Friday night, I wouldn't say no. And you making a request, or, hey, I would really love to go out this weekend. Would you take me? Same being proactive, but just one with a feminine approach versus a masculine approach. There's 100 different ways to be pulling in a proactive way. And what it does is it creates an invitation. It creates an opening. And actually, it's almost like a challenge to the masculine energy. It says, hey, I would love this thing. Can you provide this? Can you live up to this? I would love for you to take me out this weekend and go on a date. Or I would love to go on this hike together. Or I would love to get some sushi together. Can you provide this? My wife did this. One of the ways you can be pulling is simply sharing your standards and your boundaries on a date. On our first date, my wife and I went in for a kiss and she was like, yo, big guy, I don't think so. And there's a particular way I've shared in other videos that you can actually speak this without rejecting him. But ultimately what she said to me was, I don't kiss on the first date. And I'm really looking for someone that I can be in a committed relationship with. And I don't know if that's you. I don't know if you want that. But I'm looking for someone that we'll see where this goes. I remember looking at her. And at that point, I was right at a moment in my love life where I was dating casually. Had been doing that for a while. I was enjoying that process. But long term, I wanted to find the love of my life. And I was right at that moment where I'm like, maybe now could be the time. Maybe I could be that guy for you. Maybe I could give you what you wanted. And so she laid out her standard. Like, I'm not going to kiss on the first date, but I wanted to grow something special with somebody. And I thought to myself, maybe I could be that guy. Maybe I could step into that. And we started dating and connecting and fell in love. And ultimately, we became that for each other. And so as you share your standards and boundaries, it's incredibly powerful. And that's exactly what Sharon did with Mark. Sharon began to move from her head into her heart. Sharon began to experience the present moment. Sharon made invitations to Mark in a beautiful, feminine way. No pressure, no nagging, just feminine, like, hey, this is what I would love. And Mark, he leapt at it. He jumped in and he started seizing the moments with Sharon, and they created a beautiful romance that ultimately, very recently, culminated in this moment right here. Check this out.
Where's the book at?
I'm going to die.
Getting that?
Yes.
Wow.
Once again, you taught me.
Now, let me remind you, that is with a woman who thought she would never find the love of her life, who felt like her standards were too high, she was too masculine, she was never going to create that result, and here she is living her dream. And that same thing is possible for you as well. I call these the 3 feminine amplifiers, is to move from your head down into your heart. Take a deep breath in and just feel the present moment. And then make your request. Speak what it is that you would want, and the masculine energy is going to gravitate towards that. And your amazing masculine man is going to be drawn to you. So my question for you is, what have you found as a really great practice to amplify your feminine energy? Go ahead and post that comment below. I believe in you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.